struck a van, killing 9 people, including 6 members of a college golf team and their coach. More on these stories at townhall.com.
We are 5 minutes after 9 o'clock on this Friday morning under cloudy skies, 50 degrees in Clinton this morning.
Local information that makes a difference. Here's your regional weather.
Showers, even a storm this afternoon. Temperatures in the upper 50s. A southeast wind at 10 to 20 miles an hour, between a quarter and half an inch of rainfall. Showers and storms tonight. Temperatures in the upper 30s. New rain between a tenth and a quarter of an inch. Higher amounts if we see thunderstorms. Winds tonight will start from the southeast and shift from the northwest after midnight at 15 to 25 miles an hour. Rain likely until the afternoon hours on Saturday, with temperatures in the upper 40s. Partly cloudy Saturday night, lows in the lower 30s. Sunday sunny, temperatures in the mid 60s. Monday partly sunny, highs in the upper 60s. And Tuesday, rain likely, breezy, temperatures in the mid 50s. As we continue through this Friday morning, right now, cloudy skies, temperatures in Bloomington at 48 degrees, 49 in Hayworth and Leroy, 50 in Farmer City, 52 in Champaign, 53 in Monticello, 57 in Decatur, 52 in Mount Pulaski, 50 in Lincoln, 55 in Springfield, and 49 degrees in Peoria. 50 degrees, overcast in Clinton. East winds are calm, 96% humidity, 10 miles of visibility on this Friday. Weather anytime is at DeWittDailyNews.com.
When it comes to treating a patient at the Warner Hospital and Health Services Emergency Department in Clinton, seconds count. CEO Paul Scourin here to let you know we have invested in an upgraded state-of-the-art CT machine, which is adjacent to our emergency room. It enables our ER doctors to detect and diagnose what's wrong more clearer and faster than ever. Bigger hospitals have it, and Warner Hospitals got it. When seconds count, count on Warner Hospitals ER and our just installed CT machine to get you treated fast.
Here's a supply chain update from Dave Jackson, owner of your Clinton Save-A-Lot. As a local store owner, I've learned many lessons from the last 2 years, from keeping my shelves stocked for you to selecting the freshest meat and produce and other items you buy every day. I want you to know that we've utilized our off-site storage facilities to beef up our inventory levels to avoid running out of items you buy. While there's no playbook for what we've all experienced, you have my personal commitment to keep our shelves stocked every day. Your Clinton Save-A-Lot appreciates your business, and we hope to see you soon.
Getting your pet's needed medications is easy with Covenant Animal Clinic in Clinton.
Yes, very convenient, especially because I live in Bloomington. It always gets delivered right to your door.
I've used the online pharmacy. It's so easy.
Click the Covenant Animal Clinic icon at DeWittDailyNews.com to learn more.
Eagle Ridge Supportive Living Indicator is affordable to everyone. Marketing Director Carla Thomas here, inviting you to schedule your tour by clicking our icon at DeWittDailyNews.com and start enjoying supportive living.
If you're looking for local hunting and fishing information, then join us for Central Illinois Outdoors with me, Jared White, Sundays at 8 a.m. here on WHOW. Every weekend, we'll offer detailed local fishing reports from professional guides. We'll swap stories with local celebrity sportsmen, and I'll invite you to share your stories as well. Central Illinois Outdoors with Jared White, every Sunday morning at 8 on all WHOW platforms and on demand at CentralIllinoisOutdoors.com. Brought to you by Bob Ridings in Pana and the Clinton, Illinois Chamber of Commerce and Tourism Bureau.
You're listening to The Morning Show, streamed by clicking the WHOW live icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
Top of the morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube. It's brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. My guest in this segment of The Morning Show is Joey Long, director of the DeWitt County Museum and C.H. Moore Homestead in DeWitt County. Good morning, Joey. How are you?
I'm great, Seth. Good morning to you.
Thanks for coming on the show as always. It's always good to catch up. And, Joey, it's so exciting that we get to talk because between now and when we speak next, the DeWitt County Museum will be open for the season. Tell us about the return of the DeWitt County Museum for the spring and summer.
That's right. So opening day at the museum is approaching quickly. We open each year on April 1st, and it's always a nice thing to do. You know, it's springtime, opening for the season, and we always have new things to look forward to when we open for a new season each year.
What do we have to look forward to this year, Joey?
Well, as far as new exhibits, we will have the Historical Houses of DeWitt County exhibit. Listeners might remember that this has been an ongoing project for a few months now, and I'm very excited about it. It will feature several different homes all across the county. You know, anyone's home, if it's an old house, really, in my eyes, is a historical house.
Mm-hmm.
And people have brought in photos of their houses, things that they have found in their houses, and the stories about their houses. And I'm putting all of that together and creating an exhibit from that. And I think people will really, really enjoy seeing this exhibit. And then the second exhibit that we will be introducing this year, this one, of course, is a limited time only. It opens in May and closes in the first part of July. And that exhibit is Prairie Flyers, a Century of Aviation in DeWitt County. And again, this exhibit too was also made possible with the help and contribution of our community. A lot of people have loaned us items, artifacts, and shared their stories with us so that we were able to put this exhibit together as well.
Very good. So look forward to that. April 1, things open up at the museum, Joey. And I don't know if I'm trying to remember back to 2019 and years before. I know that if I remember right, sometimes you've had, kind of opening, get-togethers or, events planned around it. Is there anything special like that happening this year?
Nothing special planned this year. Usually if we do an open house or something like that for April 1st opening, it would be when April 1st actually falls on a weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And, that usually brings in a big crowd. Or if April 1st happens to fall on some type of significant historical date related to the house and its history.
I see.
So, no, it's a soft opening, but I do expect people to come once the doors open, and I look forward to that. You never know. The museum is open from April through the end of December. And one thing that I truly enjoy about this is you never know who may come in the door to tour the house. It's a year filled with getting to meet very interesting people, interesting conversations, and it just makes it fun.
Very good. So we look forward to the return of the DeWitt County Museum. Now, Joey, will folks, in terms of, I know Apple and Pork weekend last year, folks were probably noticing that the house was just a touch brighter. There was some new paint going up on the outside of the exterior of the home. What have you been working on this winter besides new exhibits and things? Is there anything aesthetically that folks are going to notice different about the museum when they come out this year?
Well, one thing they might notice is not only the exterior of the house, with the new paint job and the restoration work that took place, but also the interior of the house. So each year, when we get ready to open for this season, the ladies go through and they stage the house. And so this year is a little different. I've noticed that they've rearranged some furniture. The formal parlor looks a little different, with the rearrangement. They've moved some pieces of furniture here and there. And it's strange how, something as simple as rearranging the furniture in the house really can set forth a different presentation and give it an entirely different mood. So if anyone has toured the house before, I would encourage them to come again and take another look, because it certainly has a different feel. And the lady who does the staging of the house does a fantastic job. She goes through and she stages it for each season. So you can expect it to look all ready for spring. And, the way she does that is she will make sure that the house is staged in a way that the activities that it looks like are taking place in each room, relate to the season. For instance, I remember one year she had the kitchen staged for spring, and she had it all set up for spring cleaning, which was really clever. She's just really good at staging the house. I always feel that when she does that, she goes into a room, stages the house, And then when she walks out, it looks like someone from another century will be walking back into that room at any moment. It's not perfectly set up. It looks lived in, and that makes all the difference.
Joey, again, our guest on the phone is Joey Long, director of the DeWitt County Museum and C.H. Moore Homestead. Joey, if somebody hasn't been to the home in a couple of years, with COVID and, a lot of uncertainty over the last few years with that, perhaps folks haven't ventured out, and so they're returning to the museum for the first time since, say, 2019. Is there anything, in terms of exhibits, artifacts, stories, new that they may notice that you've done in the last couple of years you'd like to highlight?
Well, like I say, there's the rearrangement of the furniture, and we'll have these 2 new exhibits. We have received some donations of different artifacts and whatnot, that might catch someone's eye and they would notice that is different. So we try to keep it, changing and evolving. We don't want people to feel like, if they stepped in the house 3 years ago, that they're stepping into the same house, So I would encourage them to come and take another look. And that the tour experience of the home is not limited to just the items and artifacts and art that you see as you walk through the house. Another very important part of the tour experience is the story. And there are so many stories connected to that historical home and so many interesting people connected to that. And, sometimes we can even go beyond that if someone has a question and, when I give a tour, I can tell them a little something about the community as a whole or the county. And so I promise you that if you have come and had a tour with me and have heard a few stories, I promise you that if you come again, I can tell you different stories. And I try to do that. I tailor it to people's interest if they share that when they come. If you came to the house because you are interested in Abraham Lincoln and his connection to Mr. Moore and our community, we go that route. If you're interested in Civil War history, I will tell you the story about how the Confederate Civil War veteran ended up being a resident in the house. Some stories, and I can always tailor them to someone's interest.
Well, that's a tribute to you, Joey, and just how great of a host you are and a director you are at the museum, and just your vast knowledge of everything in that home. I mean, it's unbelievable. And that's what, that's probably what keeps folks coming back time after time, is the fact you're so good at that. You're so knowledgeable of everything. If folks have heard the stories of one thing, you've got another. And if they've heard 2 stories, you've got a third, and so on and so forth.
Well, very kind of you. I will say that my Confederate veteran story, I have told that to people from out of town, and they're amazed by it. And they say, I'm going to bring my dad here to hear that. And they do. They will come back with their friends or their husband or, their parents and have me tell the story again. It's a great story.
Sure thing. Well, Joey, as we talk opening of the museum for the season, April 1st, is there anything we haven't mentioned you want to make sure we talk about?
Well, maybe I would just mention the hours that we're open for daily tours. Those hours would be Tuesday through Saturday, 10 to 5, and then Sunday afternoons, 1 to 5. Admission is $5 for adults, $3 for ages 12 to 18, and then ages 11 and under are free, as well as DeWitt County Museum Association members. Their admission is free as well. Oh, and you know what else I should mention? We also are participating in the Blue Stars Museum program again this year. We're always happy to do that. And so
tell us about that, Joey.
Pardon?
Tell us about that. What's that all about?
Sure. So that provides free summer admission to active duty military and their families to museums across the nation. So we are very proud to be participating in this and to be able to just do something to provide a little thank you to these people for what they do for us. Blue Star Museum admission is free. from Armed Forces Day, which would be May 21st, through Labor Day, which falls on September 5th. And it is actually sponsored by the National Endowment for the Arts and the Blue Star Families Organization, as well as the U.S. Department of Defense, and then all of the museums across the country that open their doors to these active military families.
So not to dive too deep into the weeds on that, Joey, but do you keep track of those admissions and then they send you money for all the free admissions that you've offered? Is that how that works?
No money.
Oh, okay, gotcha. It's just the program.
Doors, those people come in for free, and it is our way of thanking them. Absolutely.
Gotcha. Very good. Very good, Joey. Well, that's great. So folks in the armed forces and veterans, keep that in mind if that's something they're interested in. And again, Joey, anything on opening April 1st and the season ahead that you're excited about, you want to talk about this morning before we go to break?
I think we've done a good job of covering it, Seth.
Joey Long is the director of the DeWitt County Museum and C.H. Moore Homestead. My guest on the phone. The morning show streams to Facebook and YouTube. It's brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. More to come with Joey on the WHOW Morning Show.
MR Systems Wireless has an immediate opening. They're looking for a full-time internet installer to perform the initial setup of wireless internet and voice-over IP services, as well as troubleshoot and repair wireless and phone services for customers. You'll be responsible for the basic installation and maintenance of wireless equipment. No experience necessary. Includes health benefits, mileage reimbursed. Starting pay is $15 an hour. Find out more and apply by going to mrsystemswireless.com, then clicking About, then Employment. Equal opportunity employer.
Thank you for listening to this Miller Media Group radio station. We appreciate you making the choice to tune in to us. We want to remind you of some things to keep the attorneys happy. Our stations allow one winner per household in a 30-day period. Cash prizes are mailed to our winners within 30 days of winning. And as you've probably already guessed, portions of today's programming on this Miller Media Group radio station were pre-recorded and are mechanically or digitally reproduced. There. Now we've made the attorneys happy. Thanks again for listening to this Miller Media Group station.
Let's swing open the farm gate together every day on WHOW. I'm Stu Ellis, your host of the long-running agriculture feature called The Farm Gate. I bring the latest news and information on where agriculture is and where it's going to WHOW Ag listeners several times a day. From tariffs to treaties, from the Board of Trade to the running board on your truck, I cover Central Illinois agriculture every day on The Farm Gate. Hear it all on WHOW's many platforms, on the radio or online. Join me, Stu Ellis, for The Farm Gate.
DeWitt County's #1 source for local news is on the air and online 24 hours a day. The latest local news stories are heard every hour on Central Illinois' news station, the Big 1520 AM and 92.3 FM WHOW. Stream live at DeWittDailyNews.com. They're also heard every hour on the station that's your easy choice, 95.9 FM WEZC. And to read the latest local news on your electronic device, including tablets, iPhones, and smartphones, go to DeWittDailyNews.com. DeWitt County's #1 source for local news is on the air, online 24 hours a day.
You're listening to The Morning Show, streamed by clicking the WHOW live icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
Once again, a good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube. It's brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Joey Long is the director of the DeWitt County Museum and C.H. Moore Homestead and joins us on the phone today. And Joey, I know that you've had an infusion of new board members at the museum. Tell us a little bit about this.
We certainly have. So, of course, the DeWitt County Museum Association has a board of directors and a group of remarkable people who do amazing things for this museum. And so our standing members have been Kelby McMath, who is actually our president. And then other board members include Chet Walters, Karen Stewart, Barbara McMath, Steve Perry, Terry Ferguson, Jane Tedrick, Kathy Ferguson, Maureen Collins-Kolb, Jim Morris, D.A. Nelson, Leon Owens, Juanita Morris, Camille Redmond, and Logan Redmond. And recently, we welcomed some new board members to the DeWitt County Museum Association Board of Directors. And those people are Kirsten Goff, Nathan Lippert, Kim Toohill, Elena Russell, and Parker Toohill. So we're very happy to welcome them aboard.
You know, I remember, Joey, I mean, there's several names that you've listed off there that I know. And, this kind of got me thinking as you're talking there. I remember it wasn't that long ago, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, we were talking about how you had hoped that there would be young people that would be willing to step up and be a part of, whether it was the museum board or, in terms of volunteership and those sorts of things, kind of continuing to take up the banner and keep the legacy of the DeWitt County Museum going. And it feels like perhaps that those efforts and that focus has paid off. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. And, along those lines of the longstanding members, which we have members on the board of directors that have been on for 30 or more years at this point, the board members that have been on for a long time, the ones that are maybe a little older, have passed on their knowledge and their skills and whatnot, to these younger ones. And I mentioned that Nathan Lippert is coming aboard. And Nathan actually, a few years ago was taught how we do the ham and beans and build the fire and whatnot during the Apple and Pork Festival. So, example of how, those old time skills were passed from somebody in the 1960s onto somebody who, is a longstanding board member, and then they pass that knowledge on to this new board member. You see how that works?
Yeah.
So it's nice. It's really nice that we have some younger people and maybe some new ideas. And I think that we have a very strong board here, and so I'm really happy about that.
I know Kirsten Goff. We call her Miss Kirsten in our house because she helped watch my kids when they were going to Melissa Morris's daycare center in town, and she is just very, very enthusiastic about old Victorian homes like the museum. And, of course, she's, I know, volunteered at the museum for many years for Apple and Pork Weekend and such. So it's, that when we were talking about that a few years ago, that she was actually one that came to mind. She would be a very good board member, I would think, given her, like I said, enthusiasm for homes like the C.H. Moore Homestead.
Yes, absolutely. And I would say all of these are a great fit. Kim Toohill, Parker Toohill, they have a deep interest in history. I had mentioned that we're working on putting together this aviation exhibit, and Parker Toohill has just a passion for that chapter of our history. And so
oh, no kidding.
Yeah. And then Elena too, she is actually one of the administrators of Facebook's Clinton Remember When. She certainly has a love of history. So
right.
Fit here, all these people. So I mean, this is wonderful. Now I will say they're certainly a working board. They put in a lot of hours volunteering their time and their skills, and but it works well. So you have the board of directors, and then they break down into committees. So certain committees handle certain things like, say, buildings maintenance or planning special events, and say grounds and landscaping, festival committee, all these things. And the exec board selects those committees, and they always do an amazingly good job at that as far as matching people's skill, talent, and interest with a committee.
Right.
It's a wonderful system. It's a great system that they have.
Yeah.
But it's worked for them for 5 decades. So yeah, it's well oiled.
Joey, I hate to do this to you. I wish we could talk about this longer. I should have carved out more time for this. I apologize for that. But at any rate, I need to let you go. It's always good to have you on the program. How do folks learn more about the new season ahead and all things DeWitt County Museum?
You can keep up with what's going on through our Facebook page. We have a DeWitt County Museum Facebook page, and you can call us anytime at 217-925-6066. Or you know what? After April 1st, just stop in.
Just stop
Joey Girl.
in. Very good. Joey Long, director of the DeWitt County Museum. CH Moore Homestead Network News is
With
now.
SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason in Washington. Russian forces continue their all-out assault on Ukraine, hitting cities across